Well, it's great to see you all. Thank you all for coming today. I'm going to start off with a humorous video, so please enjoy.
Have you guys seen that new movie with that actor? He's so hot.
Oh, Hayden Christensen, 90 Minutes in Heaven.
Excuse me, Molly. I'm talking.
No.
You need to wait until I'm done and then you can talk, okay?
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't think who it is, but it's out right now. Nothing? I don't know. All right, now you can talk.
I think you're thinking of 90 Minutes in Heaven. You saw that, didn't you, Laurel?
Oh gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't even remember what
Laurel,
I've seen.
is that a new shirt? Is
Oh.
that a new shirt? Did you get a new shirt?
Yeah, it is new.
Oh my goodness, did you pick it out yourself?
Yeah.
What's on your
Ooh.
shirt, Laurel? What's on your shirt? What's on it?
Oh, that's a pocket.
Oh, little pocket. Can you put your hand in your pocket?
I guess so.
Look at the big girl with her pocket.
But yeah, I think I did see that movie. But lately, I feel like I can't remember any of them. Megan, what are you doing?
I was going to pour some more wine.
Wait. No, you still have wine to drink. Finish the wine that I already gave you, and then you can ask me for more, and I'll pour it for you, okay? Don't sass me. Okay?
The thing with movies these days is like there's movie stars attached to them, but I don't know the names of most
Molly,
of them.
Molly,
don't.
don't touch that. That's dirty.
That's a dirty napkin. Don't touch
Yeah,
it.
don't touch it. Don't touch
That's
it.
use-
Oh, now you're dirty.
Yep, you're filthy. Your hands are filthy. You know you're going to stick your little hands in your mouth, so give me your hand.
Hand.
Get the tips. I do not want to see that going in your mouth.
Anyway, I just don't know what one movie star does or did do or anything. I can't keep them straight.
Me
Yeah.
too. I feel the same way. Megan!
Yeah.
What a cutie. Did you know you're so beautiful?
Gentle, Laurel. Remember gentle? We talked about gentle. Remember we said gentle?
Oh, I know who it is. It's Johnny Depp in that thing where he's bald. You know, he
That's
looks...
the hot movie star?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, no, you're wrong.
Okay,
You're
you know
wrong.
what? Grab your stuff. It's time to go. Yeah.
Ah.
Don't give me that attitude. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're leaving.
Hey, Molly, take your trash. Say thank you.
Thank you.
That's not yours.
Drop it.
You want to sing your goodbye song?
Goodbye.
Anthony, can you say the break wound?
No!
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Just kind of a little light, fun clip, but I was thinking about this topic of children this week, so this kind of clip came to mind that I saw a number of months back. Yeah, I just, it's been kind of an interesting last few weeks. A lot of conversations and topics have come up around raising kids, and I just thought, you know, maybe this would be a really great topic to talk about. I was having a conversation with my son about a few days ago, Nathan, and that night I was kind of stressed out about some things, and I had was in an irritable mood. I was kind of frustrated, and sometimes when I'm in a frustrated mood, then any of the small things that my kids do that are not usually a big deal become kind of a big deal. And this evening, what happened was we had dinner, and then for the next 2 hours, the kids kept coming up to me and asking me for food. And I was, you know, at one point I just got really frustrated, and I was like, you know, I can't just feed you for like my whole evening. And then they went outside and they started making chalk masks on their face, and then I started thinking to myself, oh man, I'm gonna have to like give them baths, and it's gonna be a lot of work to clean up, and you know, just kind of all these thoughts came on my mind, and I was just really in a, you know, just it was a frustrating situation for me, and I got kind of upset. I was like, you know, why don't you just eat more food at dinner? then you don't have to come to me after dinner to eat more food, or you know, you know, certain things like that. I got upset, and then later that night when we were getting ready to go to bed, I have this game that I play when I'm kind of stressed out. You know, it's this Pokemon game, and I was playing it, and my son comes up to me, Nathan, and he's like, "Why are you playing that game?" Because I had deleted it a while back, and I was like, "Oh, I just feel kind of sad, and I want to use it. You know, I just feel like playing and kind of make me feel a little bit better." And he's like, "Yeah, I feel sad too." I was like, "Really? Why do you feel sad?" And he said, "Well, I got in trouble a lot today, and then he also told me later he's still a little bit upset about his game that Adonia shared last week about how he had lost his save game on his Pokemon and how he was so upset about it, and we just talked for a little bit, and then I said, "Oh yeah, I really shouldn't have got so upset at you. I'm really sorry." And it was kind of an interesting experience just to sit there with my 7-year-old son and just kind of have that really real conversation, because I think that at least for me, sometimes I feel like my 5-year-old or my 7-year-old 7-year-olds, they don't always understand what's going on around them, or they don't always necessarily feel like when I got frustrated at them earlier that night, they stopped doing they stopped asking for food, but it didn't really express that maybe that had bothered them or how they felt about it. And I think that sometimes with those young children, you just kind of like, oh, life moves on. But it was really a reminder to me when he came back and was like, I'm really sad too. And I really I realized, like, wow, I have to remember that these are people, and they feel things and they recognize things, and a lot more that actually maybe I even noticed that they recognize. So, and they're affected. They're affected a lot by what we do and what we say, what we don't do and what we don't say. And in the last couple years, I've been really surprised by the kind of questions that my kids have brought to our attention about, actually starting from when they were 4 and 5 years old. They were asking us questions about, what happens after we die, or what are we going to do when you die? Also just other questions like, why are certain people like this, or what about boyfriends and girlfriends? People in their school are talking about boyfriends and girlfriends, even from like kindergarten, preschool, and they're asking us about that. And you would think that it's a relatively easy thing to talk about, but actually it's not as easy as you would think it would be. And it kind of, as parents, we have to come to an understanding of how to convey these important topics to our kids in a way that they can understand and relate to. But in our teaching, family is the core of our teaching, right? We learn from the divine principle and from our founders that the family unit was God's original, a beautiful, ideal family unit was God's original plan. And when that was ruined, then that ruined God's plan, God's dream of being a part of that. And I think naturally as parents, or as grandparents, or as wherever situation we're at, I know that for ourselves, we think a lot about, how are we going to raise our kids, and how are we going to raise them to be not just like good people, but also the kind of people that, God would really be inspired about. And as pastors, we think about not just our own kids, but also like all the kids in the community, like what kind of experiences, do we want those children to have? What kind of people do we hope that they can be grow up to become. You know, a couple weeks ago, you know, we saw a lot of the videos and interviews, and also some people from our own community went to Las Vegas to attend this High Noon Summit, right? And the High Noon Summit really highlighted the danger of pornography, and also the concept that as families, we need to have a sense of what kind of people we're trying to become, and what kind of families we're trying to create, and how does other things in the world, like pornography, which are actually accepted by many people to be perfectly fine and normal, how do those fit into the kind of families that we want to create, the kind of people that we want to be in our lives? And it really has been something that I've been thinking a lot about, that as we need to be aware that these kind of conversations that we need to have with our children, that in the world today is very different than the world I grew up in. It's very different than the world that you grew up in. It's changing all the time, in many ways not for the better. And if we don't take the initiative to have conversations with our kids about these important issues, then they will have those conversations with other people, and they will learn it from other places. And sometimes it can feel incredibly awkward. Sometimes it can feel incredibly, we don't feel qualified maybe sometimes to talk about these things with our kids. But even from the age of 3, 4, and 5 years old, we need to be having those conversations with our kids. We need to be sharing with them honestly, you know, about our hopes and dreams for them, kind of people that we hope that they become. Not to tell them like, oh, you have to become this kind of a person, but to share with them about the value of becoming that kind of a person, and what steps they can take to become that, how they can create a beautiful family. I was reading this quote. I started reading this book to prepare for this message. It's called Raising Children in God's Will. It's actually really refreshing because a lot of times when we read like holy words, Bible, divine principle, or different things, a lot of it is, you know, it teaches us about our relationship with God, like kind of people that we need to become, kind of life we need to live, kind of things and actions and mindset we should have, which are all really wonderful things. But for me, it was really refreshing just to spend some time just reading this kind of specific topic. What does it mean to raise children in God's will? Like, I feel like sometimes that's something that we could easily kind of not pay a lot of attention to. But as I was reading different quotes, you know, and it just really reminded me of a lot of different experiences I had growing up. In one of the quotes I was reading, it was talking about how, you know, in your life, you know, bring your children with you, whatever you do. You know, whether it's going out and doing missionary work, with your work, whatever you feel passionate about or whatever is important to you, bring your children along. Let them experience it with you. Let them see the good and the bad and the tough and the easy and all the different experiences. I'm kind of paraphrasing here, obviously. But there was one quote that particularly kind of stood out to me that I wanted to share with you here. And this is a quote from True Father, who's, you know, our founder, and he's talking about his relationship with his son, his eldest son, Hyojin Moon. So he said that when Hyojin was still young and not so wise, he didn't understand about me too well. However, the more he came to understand and grow up, the more he bowed his head, unable to lift his face before me. When he sees me, he remembers that the father of his youth and the father today is exactly the same. There is no change, but when I see this, I feel rather sorry. And there are times when I turn my head away first. You should not live as you please. The universe will chase away that kind of person. Do you think your children will become successful just by worrying about them? They won't. You have to raise them giving love as the nourishment. You have to teach them the direction that they can go with love. The more they grow up, the older they get. When they find a gold vein, although they thought that the mountain was not much, the more they dig, the more they will come to realize that the mountain itself is just one piece of gold. I don't know, when I read this quote, I instantly loved it because it really mirrors a lot of my own experience growing up in this faith. And just there was times where I didn't recognize if there was really anything good in there, but I found a vein. I found something that I could really hold on to, that I could really believe in and resonate with. And then as I invested more into that and gave more of myself into it, I started to uncover more. And I started to realize that actually it looks like maybe a dirty old mountain on the outside, but there's gold and nuggets on the inside that maybe you don't even recognize. I didn't recognize growing up. But as you get older and you experience different things, different memories come back to you. And one memory that I really hold so fondly is my parents. When we were many years ago, there was a calling to go out and give the blessing to many thousands of people in the form of these, give the holy wine and do the marriage vows, and in some cases just symbolically. And my parents brought us along. Me and my sister, we went to the Indian reservations all around Wyoming, and we knocked on doors and we met people, and we came here to Denver. I remember one time, and we went to people's homes, and I remember I wasn't actively doing much, but I was just kind of there tagging along. And we would go to the door and knock, and sometimes the person would hardly speak any English, and just say, we want to give a blessing on your marriage. Would you like to have us come in and do that? And I was amazed. So many people were like, yeah, that'd be great. We'd go in, and it was just an interesting experience. Some people, they kind of were like, oh yeah, this is good. And some people would cry, and they would be really touched by the experience and just so grateful. And life moved on, right? Many different things happened after that. But I don't know, those memories kind of always stuck with me. And I'm very grateful for them. And as I raise my own children now, I think about what kind of experiences do I want them to have with this faith? What kind of experiences do I want them to have with God? Obviously, I can't force anything to happen, but as a parent, what can I do to help cultivate that experience, to kind of encourage whatever I can encourage? Anyway, some things that I was thinking about recently are that are a kind of reflection on my own life and reflection on my own way of having treated my own children up until now. And obviously, because my children are young, I can't speak from a perspective of, I've been there and done that. I can't say that I've raised successful children, or whatever that definition of that word is for this situation. But I definitely have done things that I know are not right, and I definitely have done some things that I know are right. So I feel strongly that whatever we learn in the realm of religion, whatever we learn in the realm of reading books or studying about faith, it needs to be applied to our life. If we don't apply it to our life, if we don't apply it to the way we raise our children, if we don't apply it to the way we treat our husband or wife, if we don't apply it to the way we treat our parents or other people around us, then the value is very little. And I've had to really grapple with that for myself, because I've caught myself a number of times telling my kids to act a certain way, and then recognizing that actually I'm not acting that way. We had this experience a while back where we were telling our kids weren't listening to us. We would tell them something, and it would act like we never said a word, but they're right there. They must have heard us, or maybe we give them the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they're not really paying attention. Sometimes people get what do you call it, tunnel vision, right? Or tunnel hearing, selective hearing. But we came to recognize actually they were ignoring us. And you know, we this wasn't the only thing, but we sat down to talk about a few things, and we talked about this point, and it came out from our kids that they didn't feel like they were being heard. They were many times coming to us and saying, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, you know, or can I have this, can I have this, or can I have this, or hey dad. And we would be so engrossed in what we were doing that it would take them 3-4 times before we'd even pay attention to what they were saying. And we came to recognize that actually we're not practicing what we're actually asking them to do. And as adults, if we're not practicing it, as parents, we're not practicing it, how can we expect them to do it? And this is a very simple example, right? But that's the thing about the family. That's the thing about the family. The family is the potentially the most intimate kind of relationships and rewarding relationships we can have in our life, right? But at the same time, and you know, this isn't new to anybody, I'm sure, but it's also the place where we can experience the most kind of pain, the most disappointment, the most heartache, and the most, you know, with people that we know, they don't really know everything about you. But in your family, you can't hide that stuff. I've really come to recognize that my kids notice everything. And they notice when I'm talking and I'm not really acting the way I'm expecting them to act, or I'm not doing the things that I expect them to do. And I might have my excuses. I could say, oh, I'm older, or I'm more mature, or this and that, but that doesn't mean anything to a child. And it wouldn't mean anything if someone else was in the same situation as you and they were telling you to be a certain way. It's kind of like the video we were watching, right? Like where, you know, what if you were to talk to an adult the way you talk to children? And now obviously we don't talk to each other that way, but if we did, then, you know, we would have to face that same level of accountability that those, but children don't often hold their parents accountable, not when they're like 6 or 7 years old. But you know, for myself, I want to be able to, you know, not just when they're 6 and 7 years old, but when they're 17, 18, 19 years old, when they're 20 and 30 and 40 years old. I want my kids to be able to say, you know, my dad has his quirks, and he's not a perfect person, but he's really a person who led by example, and he's really a person who, if he asked us to live a certain way or do a certain thing, that he really took it seriously, that he tried to live that way himself, even if he didn't do it perfectly. And I've also had to recognize that children are human beings, and sometimes we think that we can treat them differently because they're small and they can't fight back. But I've really had to come to recognize that we have to treat children with the same level of dignity that we treat adults. That doesn't mean we necessarily treat them as adults, but every human being deserves a certain level of dignity, right? Not to be put down or talked down to. And I've really had to kind of wrestle with a lot of my own demons, in a sense. Sometimes when my kids talk back to me, I get really like frustrated. I'm like, how dare you? But I've really had to look within myself and be like, why do I feel that way? Because sometimes kids don't agree with what you have to say. And if I go in there and shut them down because I'm an adult and they can't speak to me that way, then why would they want to express themselves to me growing up and when they're really dealing with serious issues in their life? They won't, I don't think. I feel that this topic is really important. I know that not all of you are in the situation where you have kids, or maybe some of your kids have grown up or whatever, but I just feel like this is an important thing to talk about, because if really truly family is the core of our teaching, and God's ideal is about us raising good families that He can dwell in, and that was His original ideal, and that was His original hope, and that's what He's looking for in this world, then this is actually a really important topic. And I want to bring another quote here that's from Reverend Moon. Oops. There we go. What God's hope has been is to educate His sons and daughters centering on true love that embodies His ideal. It is His sorrow that He could not teach us true brotherly and sisterly relationships in His true family, with His love as a central focus. It is His sorrow that He could not teach His children about love, His love in the family setting. There is no textbook on how to be true brothers and sisters, good husbands and wives, and good fathers and mothers. Nor is there a textbook on the tradition of the heavenly nation with God as its central focus. Today, the Unification Church is seeking to create these. So in reality, raising children and educating children is not just a family endeavor, it's not just a community endeavor, but what I get from what I read here is that this is actually something that God has been looking for. God missed that opportunity. His hope and desire was that He could be a part of that process of raising His children and educating them, giving them their start in life, or so to speak. And that was all taken away from Him. So in a sense, we're able to have the opportunity to do something that even God wasn't able to do. God wanted to be able to have this opportunity, and even God wasn't able to do it. And that's His sorrow, that's His heartache. But it's something that we have the opportunity to do, and we have the opportunity to do it well, and we have the opportunity to do it in a way that can bring some kind of sense of peace and healing to God's heart, because He couldn't have that experience Himself. So you could say this quite a holy thing in a way, but by all means, not easy or fun and without its disappointments, but it's actually can be so incredibly fulfilling, has been our experience. And some of the most fulfilling moments come in the family, if we do things in a correct way. I think the most fun I had this week was yesterday. We all, as a family, me and Adonia and all the kids and Annalise, we all play this game that the kids love to play. It's called Watch Your Back Tag. I don't know if any of you know. It's kind of like tag, infinite tag. Like if you get tagged and the people who you tagged are back up again. But we played for like 20 minutes, and it was the most joyful thing that I did all week. I feel like, even though all week was really busy and we did all these things and preparing for the spring refresh and all this stuff, the most joy and the most fulfillment can come in the family. And so if anything, please take that to heart, that it's never too late to create healing in our families. It's never too late to make change happen, to create new habits and new ways of doing things in our families. If we have young children like we do, then we're so lucky, because we're in a situation where, we can, start now, I guess you could say. You don't have to try to go back when they're 20 years old or 40 years old or 50 years old and try to, heal things. But even then, that's a very important thing to do too. So those are just some things that I wanted to share with you all today, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor Mike. And as a community, we're kind of an extended family, and so we can all also watch what we're doing. I went to school to be a teacher, and one consistent thing that all my professors said was, you're always an example. Someone's always watching you. And so we all just need to be aware, even if we don't have little young children or older children, if we're just consistently aware of our actions, someone's always watching us. Anyway, so now we'll have the offering brought up and have a moment of reflection. And if you have not had a chance to give your offering or your tithe, the ushers will come down, and we have these white envelopes in the front pews and in front of your pews, and you can give your offering at this.
Good morning, most beloved Heavenly Parent. Thank you for a beautiful morning and this opportunity for us all to gather together. Thank you for the offerings and the donations that our families have given from their hearts, and I pray that you can bless them in return, and that the value can be multiplied many times in their own lives and in our church community. Thank you for the message this morning, really helping us to feel the value as your children and how you want to express your love and your heart and your will through us to our own children and to everyone that we come into contact with. We're so grateful that we have you as our parent, loving us unconditionally and always gently nudging us in the direction we should go. We want to give this day to you, give our love to you, and I offer this prayer in my name, Michael and Donia Hendrick, a blessing to your family. Adieu.
And now for our announcements. So first, last week was the successful 25th anniversary for WFWP Networking for Peace event. All right. There were several different organizations there, and it was pretty wonderful. Everyone that was there said great things. Here are a few photos. Yeah, Pastor Adonia is going to say a little something.
I forgot I was supposed to say something, but I just wanted to say that I attended. I have to say, like, that morning it was snowing, and part of me was kind of just wanting to stay at home, and I was like, oh, maybe it will cancel. I mean, that's terrible to say, but but I was so happy that it happened and that I went. There was such amazing organizations that came who are doing a lot in Denver to help homeless people, to help people who have been abused, to help refugees from Syria, and it was so cool that they were local and they were right here, and they all had a chance to share something about what they're doing and why they're doing it, and then we all had a chance to contribute to each other, whether it was purchasing from them or giving a donation or offering connections to them. And I just want to say, I hope this happens every year, because there are so many people that we had never met and that we connected to, but we need a bigger venue, because with the 15 or so organizations we had, we were at capacity. But I felt it was really wonderful and one of the most valuable Women's Federation events we've had. So let's do it again. Everybody come next time, and I just want to share that. Thanks.
Yeah, I had a personal friend there who was sharing about her organization, and she was really touched. She was really moved by everyone there. So. All right, and so today, join Dr. Hendrick as he gives the concluding talk on the Advanced Divine Principles series. It will be at 12:30 today in the main chapel right here. The presentation is for those who are looking for a deeper understanding of the divine principle and who have already studied the basic teachings. All right, and here's the schedule for the upcoming 4-day and 7-day Divine Principle workshops in Las Vegas. Please let the pastors know if you are interested in attending. All the nominations are in, and the election for the new council will be held Sunday, May 28th, and also by email. A list of nominees will be emailed out later this week. I'm going to invite Pastor Mike up for this announcement.
Okay, couple things. We are also having a Divine Principle workshop here in Spanish, and that will be on May 27th. More details to come. But if you have someone who knows someone who speaks Spanish or speaks Spanish, be interested in coming, it'll be a one-day workshop with basic one-day content, and Ricardo de Sena is coming to give those talks. Also, there is a baby shower happening today at 1:30 for Joelle here, and you're all welcome to come to that. And I just want to talk a little bit about this Spring Refresh. We've kind of got everything worked out, and I really hope everybody can come. This is just going to be an awesome experience. I believe we're going to get a couple bouncy houses, sports, barbecue. I always try to make a nice quality barbecue, right? And the projects this year are really focused on outdoor beautification and Sunday school. So, Kendra is managing our main Sunday school, right? And she's just got way too many kids. So Claire is taking a part of that group, and she's going to be using what is now the guest room as a Sunday school. So we are converting that, and we're going to need some help just to move out the bed that's in there, the desk, and move in the new couch and all the new chairs. It's not going to take a long time, but if we have people to help, it can go very quickly, and it'll be really great. Good investment into our future. And then outside, these 3 dirt plots where those bushes used to be that we spent the last 2 years cleaning out, we're finally putting something in there. We're putting in plum trees. And I'm really excited about that, although the plums won't produce for a little while. But that's going to be a fairly big job because all the dirt that's in there is clay. So we have to dig that all out, down 2 feet, 3 feet down. And there's probably rocks and stuff in there. So we're going to need some guys with shovels and pickaxe. And we just got to go at it, get it done. And it'll be great, but it'll be some work. And then this tree out in the front here, we're cutting that down. And David Mahardy is leading up that, but we're going to need about 8 guys because we need to haul away the branches. We need to make sure that pedestrians aren't getting hit by branches and stuff. So some of the work is very simple, like you don't have to actually do much physical, but we need people, and we need to make sure it's done safely and well. So I'm really grateful for David. He's got many years of experience doing this, but if you can help, we're going to be meeting next Sunday after service to go out there for a little while and just kind of get a basic idea of what we're going to be doing. So if you know that you can come on Saturday and you can help with that, please come and help with one of these projects. And then yeah, this is, why are we doing this? There's so many positive aspects of this. We're going to beautify our building. We're going to create opportunity for all of us as a community to come together and invest into it and create something new, make it more beautiful. We're going to have a new Sunday school. This is an opportunity if you want to bring some of your friends, maybe someone you've been teaching Divine Principle to. There's no talk or anything. This is spending time together, having a good time, playing some sports, and getting some work done, and feeling good about our future. So, no, we will have shovels. We will have shovels, we have gloves, we'll have eye protection, we'll have everything we need. But we're providing the barbecue, but we are asking that people bring some kind of dish to share. It's kind of a potluck too. Okay? Any questions? So, like I said, I really hope everybody can come. Even if all you can do is come to eat food and then you got to leave, that's fine. I'm saying it's fine. Please do that. Obviously, if you can stay for more, that's better. Okay, thank you very much.
Everybody's so tall. All right, so save the date for the commemoration of the 35th wedding anniversary of the 2,075 and 6,000 couples. Saturday, July 1st. The time is still to be announced. Renew, uplift, and rededicate your marriage and those of your family and friends. Couples from all blessings welcome. Participate, honor, and help plan. More information to come. So next week we have the Tamayo family cleaning and cooking, and we still need volunteers for ushering.